We're Marianne and Chris. In May 2018, we quit the 9 to 5, rented our house to travel full time. Due to the pandemic, our attempt to drive around the world has been put on pause.
Finding ourselves in Turkey, we are going to show you the best this country has to offer. This morning we have woken up in Gallipoli, Gelibolu, and today we are going to explore this wonderful peninsula. And the first stop, we're going to head about 45 minutes south to a museum visitor centre so we can learn a little bit about the history of this area so we can share that with you. So it actually looks like they are building a bridge. You can see some upright structures. At the moment, the only way to get from the peninsula to the Asian side of Turkey is by ferry, which we'll be doing later in the week. But it looks like they may be building a bridge. If you know, let me know. The coastal road heading south along this peninsula is lovely, hugging the channel here, really pretty. So we have arrived at the Canakkale Destan Tanıtım Merkezi. As you know, we're not major historians, but our journey is going to start here at the visitors center, and we will share what we learn with you. So entrance into the museum is 20 TL each. We've actually just bought an annual museum pass, which you can do if you're Turkish residents. If you're a visitor, you can get a museum pass, but it tends to work for a week for the area that you are in. They've got a sample of a bomb here and an image to show how a pilot would have thrown it by hand out of the aeroplane. Isn't that crazy?
That was actually found in the fortress, the Bozkır'da fortress, that actual bomb.
It's a very interesting place to start your visit to this peninsula, with lots of information, lots of old photographs, statues, old uniforms. Very interesting. We would definitely recommend starting in the visitors center to give yourself a bit of background. See some of the war memorabilia. They've got all sorts of things on display from those times, and it was very interesting and educational. And it's so heartbreaking to imagine what life would have been like on this peninsula during those troubled times. So we jumped back into Trudy, and the next stop, just an 8-minute drive away, is the Anzac beach. Okay, so the road is blocked. Let's just see what it says. Anzac Cove Road between Beach Cemetery and is closed due to vehicle traffic. due to the risk of land slippage. We saw that some cars had gone through the barrier to go a little bit further down, so we followed them. We came across another roadblock that you can see there, so we've parked up and we're going to head up. There's a footpath here which goes up to Shrapnel Valley Cemetery, but I think there is a viewing point over the Anzac beach. We'll go and have a look and see if we can show that to you. This is a stark reminder of what happened in this region back in the First World War. And we're at Shrapnel Valley Cemetery. The majority of the soldiers buried here are from Australia and New Zealand, with some British and some other that were unidentified. So now we're going to wander up the footpath towards the top of the hill here to see if we can get a view of the Anzac Cove itself. So as we're walking up the path, there's a sign here that says viper snakes may be found in this area. They're important members of the natural community. They will not attack, but if disturbed or cornered, they will defend themselves. Give them respect and distance. Isn't that nice? I like snakes. Not if you see them up close or stand on them, but I do actually like snakes. So just walking up the hill here, this is the road that they're repairing, which is why it's closed. But there are in fact still cars coming down it. Maybe we could have driven, but it's a beautiful walk anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh?
It is beautiful. It's hard to believe that anything so tragic happened here.
It's actually nice to be able to walk outside on such a beautiful day and not have your mask on, because so far, I think because the road is closed, we haven't actually met anybody. So we're just walking up to the top of the hill here, and I can see in the distance that it's opening out to a view. Wow. Oh, and here's Pluggy's Plateau Cemetery, and this is actually the smallest of the cemeteries here on top of the hill. So here we go. This is Anzac Cove. We've arrived at Anzac Cove. On the 25th of April 1915, the Anzacs, made up of the Australian and New Zealand troops, landed on the cove behind me. They weren't supposed to land here. They got lost in the darkness and ended up landing in the wrong location. Looking at the landscape here, it is possibly the worst place you would consider landing. Surrounded by high ground, they met Turkish forces, and on the first day they landed, they lost thousands of troops. It's hard to believe what happened here so long ago. looking at this cove now with the beautiful blue sea and the sun shining down. So we're now heading south along the bottom of the peninsula to see if we can find the beach where the British landed during the battle in World War I. We've come down to the most southerly point of the Gallipoli Peninsula, and this is the waterway where the British fleets with some French boats, they initially thought they would be able to go up this channel here to take over Istanbul, formerly known as Constantinople, but they were met with heavy attack and lots of underwater mines, and after losing a few boats they had to withdraw and head back out to sea. At 6 a.m. on the 25th of April 2015, around the same time that the Australian and New Zealand forces were landing on Anzac beach, the British troops were arriving in this area of the peninsula. They were also faced with heavy attack. They thought they would overrun and take over this part of the peninsula within days, but after being here for 8 months, they were defeated and had to retreat. So we've arrived at the Helles Memorial. It's got the names of 18,985 soldiers who perished here from the UK, Australia and India. So Marianne is just giving her dad a virtual tour on WhatsApp of the site. He's back in the UK. Great way of keeping communications and taking our family on our travels with us. It's been so nice today to see all of the cemeteries and monuments are so beautifully maintained here, and yeah, really nice to see that. We hope you enjoyed that little walk around the Gallipoli Peninsula with us today. Like we said at the beginning of the day, we are not historians. There are wonderful documentaries on the war that happened here on YouTube. We'll put a couple of links in the description below of videos we found quite interesting if you want to check out and have more information. We are now going to find somewhere to park up for the night, because we've probably got about another hour of daylight, and so let's hit the road and see where we end up tonight. So we found this little park up on a town. We've driven across to the other side of the peninsula, and we're at the Boomerang Cafe and Bar, and we're allowed to park here. So we're going to go in and have a beer. And there's a friendly dog already. Good morning. we've woken up here on the peninsula of Gallipoli, and today we're going to be leaving and getting the ferry across back to the Asian side that you can see behind me, to the town of Canakkale. We found this little park up on Park for Night, and just on the straits here, and the Boomerang cafe and bar that you can see behind us, they were so lovely. We had a good evening with those guys last night. They let us use their facilities, top up with water, and we got to park up for a night with that view behind us. So the sun is shining, it's a wonderful day here, and that is the Asian side that we're heading to today. So we're just on our way to the ferry, and just in the main town of ESCPECIALY, which is where we were staying, and there's this sort of reenactment monument here that we had to stop and have a look and show you guys. So look at this, they've got this model of, this is the Gallipoli Peninsula here, and the Asian side, and the Dardanelles Strait coming up the middle here. So it would have started off, look, on the floor here they've got little models of the boats that sunk, different boats there, the Bouvet, HMS Ocean, and a few other things there, another boat there. And then here, look, they've got the minefields, showing where the minefields were coming up the straits here. Currently we are over here, this is where we are now. So today we're going from here, we're getting the ferry across to Canakkale. And this model gives a real sense of where everything happened. So down at the bottom here you've got V Beach, where the British landed, met resistance here. And then coming along down this side, this is the Anzac Cove. So we walked up onto the hill here and looked down on the cove. This is where they would have landed, with all the high ground here looking down on the beach. It's a great model here to give you an idea of the layout. So there's actually two different locations to get the ferry over to the Asian side. This one's just come in here in ESCPECIALY, which goes over. We're going to go down the coast to the next town because the distance is shorter and they run more frequently. ESCPECIALY, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, so I do apologize if we're getting it wrong, but it's got a lovely seafront here. There's a nice park a little bit further up, people fishing here down on the seafront, as well as this memorial, lots of little cafes. Yeah, it's a very nice town. They've got this reenactment model here. It brings it all to life really, because you can see it's only 8 meters between the front line trenches. How frightening would that have been to be looking at the enemy? They spent 8 months battling here on this peninsula before having to withdraw. The crazy thing is, the battle in the First World War had no major impact on anything, you know, other than human life, and so many people died, and you know, was it worth it? It's a shame. It all seems like a real pointless waste. Oh no, it's further down. Let these cars go.
Yeah.
Huh? There's another jetty down there. I think the jetty's a little bit further down. So look there.
Oh yeah, there they go.
Is this the ferry here? Yes. That's the ferry there. Beautiful. So we think we've arrived at the right ferry. It looks like a ferry and I can see a town opposite, so it's all good. We got Google Translate on hand just in case. Günaydın. Merhaba. Teşekkürler. Thank you. Oh, fine parking.
Go up there.
So we park up here. Here.
Oh,
reverse.
there. Okay.
Yeah, reverse in there.
Keep the car.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Perfect. Teşekkürler. Okay. Woo! Parked up. Oh my lord. Easy, tiger. This gets a bit tight at the end. It's a little bit tight. Oh, they're going to fit one more in. So the ferry's parked up and we're just looking at the angle to try and drive down and round to get on the ferry. I think it might be an interesting experience.
Can't we just go that way? Let the boat go over there so I can just drive on.
Oh, good job. That was good. It's a good job they actually cleared everybody before we got on. So we are on the ferry. Beautiful. I love the fact that there's actually not really any logical way of getting off. It's first come, first served. We're all just going for it from all angles. Welcome to Turkey. They're coming on the left and the right. The taxi's on the left.
Oh my god. I'm going there, I'm going there, I'm going there. I hate this no control. I hate this let's just go for it kind of mentality. I'm gonna grin at the man next to me.
The taxi's coming anyway.
I'm going anyway. Marian's embracing her inner Turkish driver.
The traffic
take the second exit onto
carries on. Oh, come on in.
Coming in.
I don't think he knows where he's going. Welcome to Canakkale.
Marian's a Turkish driver.
Oh, it looks a lovely town,
Oh, it does.
doesn't it? We've found a car park. Let's have a look. Just need to find somewhere to park up. So we've parked up right in the edge of this car park, right in the corner, because it's the only place that was available. So we're probably going to move later, just from a security perspective, because we don't like being tucked away in corners. So yeah, I don't think we're in the best part of Canakkale, I have to be honest, but it was the only car park we could find for the night. So there you go. Anyway, we're going to hang out here, make videos and just do a bit of work, and then tomorrow morning we're going to go and venture out and show some of Canakkale area. In fact, there's a girl chasing a chicken right in front of the van.
I love chickens.
There's a girl that's chasing a chicken down the road.
Is she?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Look, and she's coming back again.
Oh yeah.